Hey, welcome to Friday Night Live. I had a little problem. That's why I'm about 10 minutes late. Control V, we'll enter. Go ahead and click the link in the chat box. Or if you're on Stunt Hanger, we'll do that now. We'll get this up there at the bench. I gotta log in. Log in. And a new topic. Friday night. Friday, 10 o'clock. Control V. Well, I don't know if you guys remembered, but the last time I was on, I was complaining about Dell computers. Well, it's getting worse. I almost didn't make this broadcast because I had to reboot, reinstall everything on this computer, and it's still screwed up. So I'm going to give you a couple tricks on the Dell. Oh, first off, don't buy a Dell. They're absolute crap. They're set to explode at the end of their warranty. Anyway, if your keyboard locks up on the Dell, press the shift button down and hold it down. It'll make clicking noise until it makes a release noise, which is whoop. The numlock is screwed up on this. I had to search all over for the fix on that. The fix for that is to hold the FN button down and the numlock button down until it makes that same exact noise. Click, 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 whoop. So I'm looking for a fix in the hotkeys for that, but that's basically what has been happening this evening. Was trying to get this sorted out. I can see the chat box. Go ahead and ask a question if you like in the chat, or join the chat. I'm going to address, I think it's Stunt 1 question on the urethane that I use on the nose. I'm really reluctant in offering these suggestions because paint is a crazy science. What works for me might not work for you, but I'll tell you what it is in a detailed observation, and if you try it and you make it work, great. And if you don't blame me because I can't help it. What I do to urethane my noses, or put the urethane fuel proofing on the nose, is I use Sherwin-Williams Select Clear. It's a 2-to-1 urethane, automotive urethane. I mix 2 parts of the oh, wait a minute, excuse me, it's a 4-to-1. Let me go get the can. I want to make sure I'm telling you correct. Okay, this is Acme from the Roadrunner cartoons. But the Select Clear, this comes from Sherwin-Williams too. This is about $22. It'll last a lifetime for me anyway. And this is about $22, and it doesn't last very long. But for some reason, I've had this hardener for about 5 years, and it's still good. It still works. Usually they harden up in the can. Anyway, this is a 4-to-1 clear. So for me to make this work, what I do is I add 4 parts of the urethane. You got to get a mixing cup, and 1 part of the hardener. Now you think, well, why am I adding thinner to it? Well, I add dope thinner to it to give it tooth. And what I mean by that is this particular paint here, urethane, is a mechanical bond. And I've said this a million times, but I want to make sure Stingray 1 gets this. This is a mechanical bond, and dopes or lacquers are chemical bond. So this being a mechanical bond means that you have to leave scratches from one coat to the next, so it has something to bind to. Well, if I'm taking a plastic, as this urethane is, and I'm going to add it to over the top of a lacquer base, which dope is, there's nothing for it to grab to. So what ended up happening, especially with some of my newer or older experiments, is that the clear would peel off the airplane. So when cleaning the gun, I noticed that the thinner didn't make this paint curdle. So why not add it as a reducer? So I go 4 of these, 1 of these, and anywhere from a half to 1 of dope thinner, and that gives it the chemical to bind in to the lacquer layer. So if it works for you, great. I make no guarantees on this because sometimes it doesn't work for me. But I found that here lately, because I've got it kind of down to a science, it does work every time. And I'll show that process if I ever get some decent weather to shoot clear in. I was going to shoot clear on Dan McAtee's airplane today, but it's been raining and drizzling all day. So paint is a strange beast. It's a chemistry experiment that you better have a grip on. And on these urethanes, let me go back on this. These urethanes have a specific formula of how much time or intervals has to be between each coat. So on urethanes especially, if you're painting urethane and you shoot 1 coat down, you lay a nice coat down. If you don't come back within 15 minutes and lay the next coat down, you'll have to wait till tomorrow, and you'll have to put tooth on it. You do not want to do that when you're clearing the nose of a stunt ship. You don't want to do 2 days worth. What happens there is you end up building up a lot of material. Whatever that you pour of this can onto the scale or into the cup, that weight is going to be on your airplane. So you want to use as little as possible. And what I've done now is I used to spray it with a spray gun. But a spray gun puts on so much material, you could 2 ounces in that cup, it weighs a ton. So I started using my airbrush. But after you're done using your airbrush or your HVLP gun, immediately go to the lacquer thinner. Put that, take it apart, clean it up super good, because if you let this harden in your paint gun, I'll throw it away. Your airbrush will never work the same again. What it does, it clogs up the air valves, and it doesn't matter if you soak it for a year, it's just no good. So anyway, let's recap. 4 to 1 clear, 1 of the hardener, anywhere between a half of 1 and 1 of the dope thinner. Don't be a cheap ass. If you're using Randolph products and you're using Randolph Clear, make sure that you use Randolph thinner. It's $50 a gallon, but if you use Jsco $17 a gallon cheap gun thinning lacquer, what it does is it's very hot. It has a lot of impurities in it. It'll make your clear blush, and these are very important things to consider. Hey, Frank, what's going on?
All right, how you doing, Sparky?
Well, I'm all right. I'm online, but I had some problems with computers today.
Oh. Okay. Well, I got my bottom block all carved out.
Okay.
And my cowl's done. I just got to hollow it out.
Well, that's a beauty.
Thank you. Now I've got my turtle deck tacked on. I've got to carve it yet and shape it.
Right.
And I built my rudder. I'm just put the ribs in right now. I got to sand it to shape. I'll show you it when I get done. But it's coming right along.
Now, are you going to mold that bottom block?
Well, I think I'll mold my next one because I've got all this wood in this kit. I hate to keep buying wood and replacing wood that I already have.
Well, let me give you a little insight.
All right.
It doesn't matter what it costs. If you spent $100 in extra wood, you'll be farther ahead than wasting your time building a Nobler that's 58 ounces or 60 ounces.
Right.
You want to keep it as light as possible so you can get the most enjoyment out of that airplane.
Okay. Now, you think it's going to weigh 60 ounces?
How much does that block weigh?
Well, right now.
Just tell me what it weighs now. I'll tell you what it weighs after you carve it.
Okay. You want ounces or grams?
Give me ounces first.
1.3 ounces.
Well, you might get that down light enough. 1.3, so you're going to cut that at least in half. So we'll say it's, yeah, it'll be all right. Give me grams. Let's see what it is in grams.
All right. 36 grams.
Okay, your first job on that particular block is to cut that in half.
Okay.
But you want to make sure that you see half of 36 is
18.
17.
18.
Yeah, okay, 18. And that's too heavy. But you want to carve it out, the inside,
Okay.
until it's 18 grams.
Okay.
Then you're going to start candling it, and you're going to try to cut that 18 in half, get it down to 9 grams.
All right. Now, do you want me to keep the wall of it about 1/8 of an inch, or is thinner if I can get it?
What I do you know how to candle?
Yeah, you hold it up to the light so you can see through it.
Right. You want to sand, carve and sand the inside of that till when you hold it up to the light, it's a light shade of pink.
Okay.
It's kind of an orangey color.
Okay.
And you want it all the same hue. Any of the dark spots are thicker, any of the lighter spots are thinner.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely going to hollow it out as much as I can. I told Tom today I was going to hollow it till I can see through it.
Well, would you call Tom Morse today?
No, Tom's Creasy.
Ah.
So I got to sand these ribs in this rudder, and it'll be done. It's ready to silk span. I just got to dope it.
You get the elevator stabilizer done?
Not yet. I wanted to do the rudder first because I want to trace the outline of the airfoil on the top here, so I can contour around that airfoil.
Okay. Here's a trick. Do you have any 64th plywood?
No, I don't.
Do you have any 16th plywood?
30
seconds.
I got 16. I don't have much. I got like.
Okay, that's big enough.
Okay.
The one piece there. After you get your airfoil shaped on the rudder,
Okay.
put the rudder on top of that piece of plywood and trace out the shape of it on the bottom,
Okay.
where it's going to glue onto the fuselage.
All right.
Then tack glue that piece of plywood up on the fuselage and sand down to it, to the plywood.
Gotcha. I got
And
you.
remove the plywood. When you glue the rudder on, you can feather it in.
Okay. That sounds pretty easy. Easier than what I was gonna do it. I was just gonna do it by eye.
Yeah. Trust me, the plywood's a better way to go. That way you don't make a mistake and over sand and have to fill.
Exactly. Okay.
Our job as model builders is to keep the material off the airplane.
Right. All right. I'm happy with the way this rudder turned out. It took me a couple hours to sand that airfoil in it.
Well, let's see it.
Well, let me get these ribs sanded and I'll show it to you. I got it nailed to or pinned to the board right now.
Are you using a block that blocks out all the ribs at the same time?
Yeah, I'm using a sandbar.
There you go.
I've been using one of these things for years. It's awesome.
Well, I hope that my channel helps some be better modelers, be better finishers.
Oh, I've learned a lot. And, you know, I've been building since I was 10 years old, and I've still learned something.
Well, I do too. I mean, I've learned that I absolutely hate Dell computers. They're absolute shit.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to cut off my signature beard tonight. What do you think?
Cut it all off or just trim it back?
Be about that long, about an inch long.
That'll be all right. I thought about growing a beard, but it's coming up summertime. I'm thinking, I don't know.
Well, I want to announce any of you guys that have a subscription to Control Line Craftsman, please close them out. I'm going to take that site down. It hasn't done much. It's just too hard for me to run 2 Stunt Hanger channels. Now, you can go to Stunt Hanger with an A or Stunt Hanger with an E and see 2 different websites. The Stunt Hanger with an A is our emergency backup. And it also posts my YouTube uploads on the very front page. So you want to see my latest YouTube upload, you can go to www.stunthanger, that's HANGAR.com, and you'll see the latest upload on the front page. There's not much of a page. That's just our extra server for emergencies, seeing as that we had some problems in the past and other issues that are going on. So, and then I Control Line Craftsman and then try to run a YouTube channel as well. This takes a lot of work to do these YouTubes, and to have a specific time to be up and running is extreme pressure. I literally got it up and running 2 minutes before it came up because the computer was screwed up. I have a backup computer on the back shelf there. That's my old computer that I might be going back to, except for the camera doesn't work on a damn thing. Can't win. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the videos. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you're that guy that gives me a thumbs down, at least have the balls to tell me what's wrong with my videos. I got one guy.
Yeah. Those are the guys that can't build.
No doubt.
Almost done here.
Well, I'm going to be going to the Dayton show at the Friday, and we're going to take the camera and we're going to try to get us some pictures of the meet and some video, which is going to be a pain in the rear. So I will try to get that edited and uploaded from Dayton, because it'll be a couple of weeks before we get back, and I want to keep my channel fresh. So it's going to be around next Saturday or Sunday that I get it uploaded. I'll have to go somewhere to plug into a network, I guess. But I'll get it up for you guys. Let's see, did I build mine up? I can't remember if I built mine up or not.
I think you did. Mine, I had to carve out the center and add ribs to it.
Yeah, I did.
All right.
What happened? You're blank. Oh, there you are.
Am I froze up?
Yeah, I can't see you.
All right. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. You didn't get quite enough out of the absolute back end of it, though, did you?
You mean thin wise?
No, the two holes.
Oh, should I make them bigger?
I put ribs in mine, just like the green box over.
Yeah, I know. This thing doesn't have any kind of pattern for that.
How much does that weigh?
Grams?
Yeah, grams is good.
10 grams.
That's a lot.
Is it? Yeah, no.
7 grams would be a lot.
I don't know how I would get that any lighter.
Lighter wood?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me get a rudder for you. This here is a rudder for another XL. How much you think this weighs?
2 grams.
I don't know, but we'll find out. Eight grams, and it's solid. Yeah, and it hasn't been sanded yet either.
So you're not going to have any holes or anything in it?
No, but it'll be sanded to an airfoil.
And that's a lot bigger than this thing, isn't it?
Yeah. The elevator stabilizer right here, this elevator stabilizer that's hinged with a horn, covered with silk span, and 3 coats of dope on it, weighs 59 grams. Let's see how much that is. Two ounces.
Wow. I don't know how many ounces I'm at with this. Are you sure that's 2 ounces or 0.2 ounce? Oh, you're 2 ounces all together.
The whole thing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm at 0.35 ounces on this thing.
This is the elevator stabilizer of a big airplane.
Now that's the GNR XL.
Yeah.
Now, where'd you get the pattern for that huge elevator stabilizer?
I sent you the The plans, right?
Yeah, what do I do? You said something about making the elevator bigger.
Yeah, add some area to it.
Oh, okay. Can I do that just by having Kinko's blow it up a little?
I would just get the plans sent to you. Let me see. These are them. I don't know what I did with mine. In the original size, and then use a ruler.
Oh, okay. You just add length, or do you add girth as well? Yeah.
Everything.
Okay.
There they are. Here's the plans. Right off outer zone. This is a. Let me see what this is. I quoted you wrong.
What do you mean?
You need to get a set of GeoXL plans.
GeoXL foam cradle.
A complete GeoXL set of plans.
Oh, where do you get those at? Outer zone?
I don't remember where I got these.
How's everybody tonight?
Hey, how you doing, Daryl?
Daryl?
No worse for wear, I guess you.
But you're going to make the airplane look like the Junar.
Yeah.
How many ways can you make one wing, one fuselage, one rudder, one elevator stabilizer look?
I don't know.
I think the biggest reason that my Junar flies so well is how much it weighs, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What do you got going on, Daryl?
Oh, I'm still working on the sauerkraut.
Is it cold up there in north of Mama's Bod?
No, it's oh, the snow's just about gone. Everything's brown and muddy now.
We're down here in East Sector 7, Afghanistan. Steve Hines came on.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, finally figured out how to get back on. I've been locked out for a month.
Not because of me.
It's just I had my my phone go down. They did an update. When they did an update, it shut off my 4G. It wouldn't let me text, all this kind of stuff. I ended up taking it into Verizon. They fixed that part of it, but I couldn't get on here. I couldn't do a lot of stuff. What the update did. You know, I guess I figured as much as they want to track me, they'd let me do shit. But I guess it don't work that way.
No, they just want to spy on you so they know what you're doing.
Yeah, but they won't let me do nothing.
It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse.
And now they said they're going to be able to do it over your internet, because Google, and it doesn't go through the internet. So I knew they could track me, but now they didn't think that was fair for the internet. So now they're going to let them do it too.
The NSA is grabbing every piece of digital information that goes over the wire. It doesn't matter whether it's video, telephone, smoke signal, they're collecting it.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't care how they get it. They're just going to get it.
Well, the reason that I got off Facebook is I didn't think about it when I first opened a Stunt Hanger account. They never got my real name. They only got Stunt Hanger. But everything that you do on Facebook, I mean, that's a perfect spying tool because everybody's telling on themselves. I went to dinner at Joe Blow's yesterday and I did this, that, and the other. Really. Anyhow, what I found out was in conjunction with Walmart and their facial recognition software, they're tagging everybody. And if you have a friend that has a friend that has another friend in another country who might be something else, you're in a roundabout way tied into all that nonsense. I don't want any part of that.
That's just like I didn't realize that the Chevrolet, what do they call that? OnStar?
Yeah.
If you have OnStar on your vehicle, the government knows where you drive it at all times, even if you don't subscribe to it.
Well, I don't have a car with that in it, but if you have one of those little, they have a little box that Geico will give you and give you a discount for putting it on.
Yeah.
They're tracking you. And so that's all right. I don't want any part of that.
Yeah. Yeah, what was really weird is that my cousin just retired last week. He was a lieutenant in the Grand Rapids Police Department. And Grand Rapids got the NSA program thing, whatever. So they could only go on and for themselves and look at themselves as a suspect or whatever.
Baloney.
Well, no, this is for training. So unless they had clearance, they could go in and ask to look at somebody or whatever. But they'd allow them to look at themselves. So he goes in for training and he looks at himself. He was surprised to find out that they knew where he was 8 years ago every time he went to his girlfriend's house in Pennsylvania. What football games he went to, what restaurants they ate in. He got to find out who all she called, that she knew, he knew, how they linked like you were saying, everybody together. It's like that, what was it, like 5 minutes of separation with that bacon guy? It was like, it was crazy on what they had on him. They knew where he stopped and got gas.
Well, with everybody using debit and all this stuff and posting everything, but then again, there's 340 million people in the U.S. How do you keep track of all of them?
They suck up the data and save it on a server in Utah.
No.
Oh, they're doing it here in Grand Rapids now. They just took the old Steelcase building. They moved to Mexico, moved all their jobs there and shit. And they had this huge.
Turn your phone down to me. Hey, Steve, turn your phone down so we're not staring at the ceiling.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Unless you get here.
they took over the big office building and stuff, and all it is a big computer saving place now, data saving.
Yeah. When are Americans going to say that's enough?
Never.
Yeah, well, they're not going to.
Nobody has a spine.
Well, I don't know what you guys think of what's going on right now, but I think there's a few in Washington that have a spine if they could just get some of them knuckleheads out of the way.
Yeah, that's the trick, though.
Spying on the wrong people.
Well, what it is that a lot of them like the spying if they're not spying on me.
That's the whole thing. And I haven't figured out why, all those executive orders that they're whining about Obama putting into office 10033 or whatever the hell it is. Why hasn't Trump just reversed them?
Yeah, I know.
He's
He's part of the establishment.
Well, I
Well-
think he's finding out that catching the bad guys or whatever is harder than what everybody thinks it is. You know, and he's really finding out that a lot of this stuff is hard to do.
Turn your phone down. We're looking at the ceiling again.
You can hear it bang every time it falls down. Unless you got airplanes on your ceiling, right?
Yeah, we're looking at your ceiling, but we can see airplanes.
I got
Steve has a white ceiling.
I got 10 control lines ready to go now.
I was talking
Oh,
to several years back. I was talking to Bob McDonald. I don't know if you guys know who he is. You know who he is?
yeah, yeah. He's here from Michigan with us.
Right. He lives in oh crap. It's a suburb of Detroit. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, I said I was in 12th Street Cafe, and I said, "Have you been to Islamabad?" He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Flint." He said, "There's nothing wrong with Flint." I said, "Okay." This is and now, holy moly! If you look at some of them videos, they're going crazy.
Me and my brother, 3 or 4, no, man, it maybe 5 years ago now, was before Samantha was flying. We went to the Toledo contest, and we found a guy selling a Ringmaster, all built, ready to cover, at a good price. So we're like, okay, we'll get it. On the way back, Dearborn. We're like, wow, Dearborn, you know, the birthplace of Ford and all that kind of stuff. We got in there, on every corner, and we're like,
Dearborn,
oh my God. We were shocked. Everything was written in Arabic and stuff like this, and we're like,
Where are we?
Nice sound. You know, we went in there and got the airplane and stuff and left and said, well, ain't no need to go back to Dearborn.
Maybe that's where I was thinking about. Dearborn, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, man, it is bad.
Well,
Yep.
now I want
Everybody thought I was a conspiracy theory person 20 years ago when I said the Muslims will first take over a city and then be able to do the laws there, and then they'll get a state.
Yeah.
And work at that where they're like, oh, you're nuts and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, they got their city. I don't know if I'm going to live long enough to see if they get a state or not.
well, they had the United States for a while.
You have to get rid of their leader.
Good old Dearbornistan. Yeah, it is Dearborn.
Yeah.
That plant. Well, think about this. If they start squealing with that morning prayer around here, with the guys that I know, we're going to use some expandable foam. Think about what I'm talking about. Where they got them loudspeakers.
Yeah, they do it. We do it here in Grand Rapids. There was a thing about how loud they can turn it up. They're called a prayer so many times a day.
Expandable foam. Get your guys together and get some cans of expandable foam.
Put it in the speaker, huh?
That's it. They won't know what to do.
Yeah, excuse me. There was a place I always went for sheet metal. And, you know, the guy, he seemed okay and stuff, and we always went there. Well, one day I walk into this place, and he's chanting shit, walking around the big table where he cut the sheet metal and doing all this kind of shit. And there was music in the background, that shit stuff. And I was like, he looked at me and I looked at him, and I just turned around and walked out. and I wouldn't go there. No, you got to go. I said, I ain't going back there. I ain't going in that place, and I don't want nothing to do with them. So then they come to me and said, oh, we had a talk with him. He's a Sikh. And I said, a Sikh my ass. That was that damn call to prayer, and he was doing some kind of chanting and shit, and I ain't going back there.
Well, there is
I've
a
never
difference,
been-
and the Sikhs are okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Sikh. I know the Sikhs, they wear a turban. This guy wasn't wearing no turban. He was chanting shit, and that call to prayer was going off, and I've heard that on TV before, and I'm like, nah. Because I don't want to go in there, and he's all riled up about something and sees me. Next thing you know, he's coming after me with a machete or something.
If they don't like it, we'll turn our postman loose on them.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, at least down there, you're allowed to defend yourself with a firearm.
Well, you can have guns there, but you can't defend yourself.
Pretty much, yeah.
So what good is it? You use it as a hammer?
But by the time you get it out of all the legal lockup we have here, he'd have you anyway.
Well, shit. Why is it locked up?
It's the law.
Yeah, well, who's going to come in? The gun police into your house?
Yeah, actually,
Where-
yes.
Where are you at?
Wow.
Canada stand.
Oh, you're Canada.
North Canada stand.
Well, the federal government's trying to pass a law now making it illegal to criticize Islam. Or they call it.
They're making marijuana legal, so it's just a trade-off.
They're not doing that. That was just a promise that a bunch of potheads would vote for him. That guy never kept any of his promises.
Well, I want to tell you this. My dad is 95 years old, and he would not stand for this shit if he was my age right now. The greatest generation, the World War II guys, would not stand for this crap that's going on.
Nope.
Well, they fought for 5 years to get rid of that bullshit.
I don't understand why the Korean guys and the Vietnam guys ain't saying something.
They'll find a reason to put them in jail. Anything you do anymore is a felony. I don't give a shit what it is.
I don't know. You seem to be able to go out and riot, beat people up that don't agree with you, and destroy and burn private property. I don't see those guys.
That's only if you're a Democrat. If you're a Republican, you can't do that.
Oh,
Well, I think the Democrats are in for a rude awakening. Now, the reason why they want all these illegals to come in
Votes.
is because the blacks have woke up and said, hey, this is the party of slavery, Jim Crow, Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood and all this other crap. And so they've lost their black caucus. So they're going to get the illegals to come in so they have votes. So they don't want voter ID, and there's no reason why we can't come up to third world standards like Mexico and have voter ID. No reason. They say it's racist, and you're telling me that black people don't know how to get an ID? Give me a break.
well, that's how you know you're winning an argument with a liberal. They start calling you racist, and you know you just won the argument.
Yeah.
The only thing is, it used to be the Democrat Party was the party of the Ku Klux Klan, but
They make it sound it's the other way around.
all the Ku Klux Klan people are now Republicans. Grew up with them. My dad's from Florida.
Well, Abraham Lincoln
And I
was not
know
a Democrat.
they're all
They're still
Republicans.
selling that shit. He was a Republican.
But all my all the people I knew from down there that was into that shit, they're all now Republicans. They hate Democrats, but they were Democrats when I was young.
Well, it was Lyndon Johnson that started this thing. He said, we'll have these people voting for the next 50 years to the Democratic Party. He's the guy who got all this nonsense rolling with entitlements.
Yep.
Entitlement is a pretty bad disease.
Here's a good entitlement. You go to work, you get to eat. You're entitled to eat.
That's the way I see it. If you earned it, you're entitled to it.
Right. And I love the fact that they're gonna no food stamps or welfare for the illegals, and if you piss a dirty piss test, your food stamps are cut off.
That's good. Because if you can afford dope and booze, why are you taking my tax money?
Well, I think you're in bigger trouble than we are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There we are. Because if that law goes through, I mean, freedom of speech is going to take a shit kicking.
Well, Trump shut down net neutrality, and they tried to make that sound like it was such a bad thing. It's a very good thing because that was the first step into controlling the internet. And if they put a cap on the internet and we can't communicate, we're screwed.
Didn't they give the internet away?
They gave ICANN away, and that's pretty important. ICANN is the International Naming Services. They're the guys that own. See, when I register Stunt Hanger, I get a IP address or a number. It's just like a phone number, and they're the guys who do that registering.
Oh.
And you'll notice that the minute that they sold ICANN or traded it off to United Nations, problems started to happen. Even though they're slight, it's not running like it was.
Dad, paint these on or stick them on?
What are you doing?
Polishing a turd is what I've been doing.
Well, I got to tell you, if you polish a turd long enough, when you're done, you'll still have a turd.
Yeah, shiny piece of shit's what you end up with.
That's right.
Well, these decals are just pressure sensitive,
Yeah, just stick them on and be done with it.
and I can clear coat them with a flat coat and stick them on. But I painted the whole airplane, so I'm thinking about airbrushing them on.
When I worked for Harley Davidson, I used to ask the service manager, "Hey man, you got any of that there turd polish?" "For what?" "Well, I've been working on this bike for, I don't know, a week, and it's still a turd. We might as well shine it up."
Yeah. I've seen a lot of guys buy Harleys. They spend thousands of dollars on chrome and paint. And I'm talking like old shovel heads and stuff. But they didn't spend a nickel on the goddamn drivetrain. I said, that's what you do first, man.
Well, see, I hung around guys that were the opposite way, you know. We 260 cams and stroker cranks and shit like that. We did a lot of internal work you couldn't tell was done.
Yeah. So a nice shiny looking bike and it didn't run. I didn't get that.
Well, a lot of the people that ride motorcycles, they ride them that far, usually from bar to bar.
Yeah.
I've been to Sturgis a few times where you could see the guys bring their bikes in on trailers and they take them out and ride them into town and go, "Ooh, that was a long ride." Give me a break.
Well,
Yeah, the longest ride I ever did was from Massachusetts here to Michigan in one day. 780 some miles I did in a day.
I got you beat. I got up in the morning one day here in St. Louis and drove to my brother's house and went to sleep in Denver, Colorado. Over 1,000 miles.
Oh, next year.
I always wanted to do the iron, but never did it. Well, then you should have registered for it, because if you do it within 24 hours, then you can get registered for it. That's 1,000 miles in 24 hours.
It didn't matter to me. I just wanted to get to my brother's house and go to sleep. My bike had a road Zeppelin air seat on it, air shocks, front and rear.
The deal, I went out there to New York, and snows and all that kind of stuff. And then I went into Massachusetts and they got freezing rain. And I was riding in the mountains with that damn bike, and I'm like, they're calling for 2 more days of freezing weather, and it's like, I'm headed home, and this was in June. So I got on the bike. Well, I left Massachusetts there around 11, and then headed into the motel, grabbed my stuff, turned in the key, and they said, well, you paid for 2 more days. I said, I'm going home. Left, and I was going to stop in Buffalo, but it was so cold that I'm like, I ain't doing this for another day, and I'm just going to make it in on, you know, one day of doing this. When I got home, it was 37 degrees. I was so cold. I really thought I was going to die. My feet were numb. My hands were numb. Worst thing I ever did in my life. And after that, I went and bought ballistic nylon shit with and stuff if I ever got caught in cold weather again, because leather with rain and cold, there's no insulation value there at all.
Let me give you a trick. Women's pantyhose.
We used to stuff our jacket full of newspaper.
Yeah.
That worked.
Trash bags work too. Put a trash bag under your coat, not over. That'll hold the heat in.
Okay, man, I about froze to death. I mean, that was the coldest ride I ever did in my life. I stopped at Walmart, bought sweatshirts and long johns and had them on. And then I had on until I could hardly get my jeans on. I probably had my clothes too tight over it, and it's still where my knees bent. My knees were just super cold, my feet, my hands, but I made it.
If things start taking off and we get some work back in this country, I'm probably going to get another motorcycle.
I haven't ridden mine now in 4 years because they charge me so much for my insurance. We got this catastrophic shit here in Michigan. So for every vehicle you drive, they hit you for $400 every year for catastrophic. So I pay the $400 for my vehicle, $400 for Samantha's. And then if I get the motorcycle, it costs me $400 for that. And I said, why do I need it on? I said, this should be on me and not on my vehicle. And they said, well, you could get into more than one accident a day in vehicles. I said, not catastrophic.
I think you need a new insurance company.
Oh, that's Michigan law. We pay, when I was down there in Florida, they're under half, or about a third of what I have to pay here in Michigan. For me and Samantha right now, it costs me $323 a month for car insurance.
Holy shit. Mine's $234 every 6 months.
That's the way it used to be here. Actually, when I first got my truck, it was $400 and some every 6 months, and I thought that was high. Now it's just gone. They just rape us here.
Well, let's ask this. How many accidents, how many tickets you guys got?
0. Yeah, I haven't had a ticket in 20 years.
See what happens, the more and more the higher the settlements are, the more you're going to pay for insurance.
Well, what it is that it used to be your health care had to cover, everything for so much. So then they put in that catastrophic deal that we have married free bed here for people that, got to learn to walk again and all this kind of shit. And then you don't have to wear helmets here in Michigan anymore. These
So
guys.
you won't need catastrophic insurance. You'll need funeral.
Yeah. So many of these guys on these motorcycles, are cracking up, and it doesn't have to be a very bad accident. They get hurt and have, internal brain stuff like that. Hospital for 2 years and shit. We end up paying for it on our insurance for them guys to ride with no helmet.
Well, there's a big problem with hospitals. When an aspirin costs $300 for one aspirin, somebody's getting rich doing something.
Talk to my doctor about that and what it is. And when I was there in Muncie that time, and Samantha the plane came in on her, and it hit the end of the lines, and the thong pulled on her wrist, and she thought she broke her wrist, and unless we take her in. We were in there waiting 3 hours for her to get an x-ray because everybody was using the hospital as a doctor's office. None of them had insurance at the time. Back then, that was before Obamacare. So that aspirin had to cost $300 because the 299 people in front of her didn't have no insurance to pay for the aspirin. Insurance, $300 for an aspirin because no one else can.
Well, if you got Obamacare, you still don't have insurance.
I got a $5,000 deductible right now for family.
The quickest way to get Obamacare fixed, make sure that Congress has to be on Obamacare.
Well, the big thing is that if you don't want to have insurance, I have no problem with that. No problem at all. But then you can't go to the hospital if something happens to you, where they got to take care of you for nothing. But if you want to sign a waiver, I don't want health insurance, fine. You don't get it. But then you can't go to the hospital. Plain and simple. And that would save so much money. And they're talking about, we got to get more insurance companies involved to lower the prices of the medical. But it won't, because that's only like 10% of the medical costs is insurance, what they make. And their profits are like 2%. So if they made no profits, we could cut 2% off of medical. There's no competition with the hospital. If I want, there's 3 of them in town.
Yeah, try to call and get a price, and you won't be able to get a price. You can go price shopping.
No, you can't. It had nothing to do with the insurance companies. It had to do with these hospitals.
Right.
And they own the damn. They own these damn places where you go get your blood taken. The girls in there take your blood and stuff. They're making minimum wage. And the last time I went, they charged $300 and some from my insurance company. And the doctor owns it. You got to be a doctor to own a lab. But you don't have to be there, and all the people are making minimum wage. You're taking your blood, and it's like, and doing all the tests. And it's like, how's there going to be any competition? You can't go and open a place and say, okay, I'll do it for $150. It's a law to where you have to go to their shit. And they're not lowering prices. But the last time that I went in for when I had the cancer and shit, they sent me a deal, and they said, the hospital charged more than the average rate in your area. So I called the insurance company. I said, okay, who charges the right amount, because I got to go in for some more stuff and I'm going to use them. They said, we don't have that information. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have the information? You said this hospital charged too much. Well, too much if you don't know what the other ones are charging. And the lady couldn't answer me. So it's just crazy. It was just like, I'll pay it.
What's up, Tom?
Hi.
Hey, Tom.
I was watching you.
How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Tom, was that you that had the deal in there about the color of the airplane?
Sure was.
Oh, okay.
Why, is that a bad thing?
No, I was gonna put on there that, I mean, they've done a lot of stuff about color. School buses are painted yellow for a reason.
Yep.
When you go hunting, you got to wear orange for a reason.
Yep.
So,
Hey, why don't you ask that belt crank question?
Oh, I forgot all about it, man. I was so busy today. This is actually the first time I've been online all day. I kind of busy. Oh, I had to stop over and get me some DC 540. Picked up a couple cans. Yeah, that price went down. I spent
probably you're going to get
$4.94 for 2 cans.
anytime something works good, they get rid of it. So they're probably just selling it out.
Well, the Napa where I'm at, they ain't going to get rid of it. They're going to keep it in stock for me, so I'm all good there.
So what color bell crank you think you need?
I'm not quite sure. I was thinking about something kind of like a fluorescent black light color.
Oh, okay.
Something that's bright enough so I could see it through the covering.
Well, that way you can tell if you got too much paint on it. If you can't see it anymore, you know you put too much paint on your airplane.
Yeah. Well, it was just a question I had, but I guess, I should have, I guess sometimes I think into things too much, but I just had a question about it.
Well, I didn't get down there to argue with people because the Sparky can get mad at me because I will say nasty shit. But a long time ago when I flew RC pattern, I always had a problem seeing if my wingtips were level. So I painted the wingtips red. If one was low, I couldn't see all of it. So a buddy of mine who was in the Tournament of Champions, he was, in all these world, he told me, he said, you realize if you can see if your wingtips are level, see if your wingtips are level. He goes, my whole thinking is, the harder it is to see the air, harder to see a mistake. And his planes were bland as hell. And like I said, he got invited to the Tournament of Champions and he, qualified for the World Championships, all this kind of stuff. But a lot of these guys flew bland airplanes because their thinking was, if I can't see the mistake, the judges can't see the mistake.
Yeah, but if you can't see the airplane and control line, you're only 5 foot away from disaster. You'll end up in the ground.
Well, that's the whole thing is that I think it'd be better to paint the ground than the airplane because I tend not to see the ground. I always see the airplane just before it hits the ground. I'm like, shit, wham.
They need to move the ground down about 5 foot, right?
Told everybody that I'm really sure that the ground 5 foot higher than it is because I hit it all the time.
There was a lot of good answers on there.
Oh, there was, and what it is that television. And when I used to shoot all the time, you'd be surprised how you can get fixated on something and can't see anything else. And when I was at the Nats last year watching Billy Werwage practice, he was laying his triangle on its side. And I said something to Chris Rudd about it. I said, damn, his triangles look like they're laid on his side. And Bob McDonald says, don't say nothing. he'll get pissed because he does that all the time and he can't see it. He goes, we already talked to him about it tonight and he's already mad. And that's like with Samantha. She gets bad habits. She can't see things. I can see them, and she'll swear to God she's doing them right. And there was something at the Nats last year, too, about Paul Walker, one of his maneuvers. Triangle. He flattens it out. He doesn't make it right. And Brett Buck was laughing and said, oh, there he goes back with them Walker triangles. And I just think that it's something you cannot see. Film yourself.
Well, they said, which is really not a fair comparison. They said the winningest airplane around was pink with checkerboards and yellow. Well, they're talking about Paul Walker's impact. But what they don't tell you is it could have been a ringmaster. It wouldn't have mattered. Paul Walker could fly a rock, you know.
Yeah, it could have been painted yellow. It could have been painted white. It could have been painted any color.
Right.
But when I was shooting and stuff, and it's the top guy in the world was saying, you know, everybody would go buy guns. I need this gun. I need this. I need this target, shit like that. And he said, until you become 98% efficient shooting a shotgun, what you can do will matter. You got to get the basics down and all that first. Then it's the type of gun, the type of ammunition. And they're looking for one target in 1,000, not one target in 25 like I was looking for. They're looking for one target, trying to get one target in 1,000 targets. Flying until you're up into the top 20, 30, whatever. I think you could fly any airplane and get that score.
I think there's some people at the Nationals that don't need an airplane. They can go out there in the middle of the circle and go like this and get a high score.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. But it's like with you, Sparky, flying all these years, and I was watching here last week when you're saying about where the bell crank was, and you could feel it. Most people would not be able to feel that difference in the bell crank. 99.9% of the people will not be able to feel it because they can't fly well enough to notice something like that. And that's where you got to be before that stuff matters, where you can get better, because before that, you're not going to be able to tell. I mean, you can tell about a lot with how a plane is trimmed, and if too much tip weight or this or that or whatever, not big enough flaps, I got to do this. The rest of us, we have not a clue. It don't matter what size flap it is, if it's a 1/4 inch bigger or smaller. It ain't gonna we're not gonna get a point out of it. Because we can't even fly the legs in the square maneuvers straight. They're all wobbly and shit. The corners ain't square.
This is going to be the first year I'm
Too
going to
late
have
or
a
too
coach.
soon. Huh?
This will be the first year I have a dedicated coach that we're going to go flying every day.
Yeah, you'll be having film you because
Oh yeah.
you know it's going to be you're going to swear to God that you didn't do something wrong. I mean, when I was shooting and stuff, they tell me, "Oh, you're doing this bullshit." He goes, "You're dropping your hip." My coach, "You're dropping your hip." I'm like, I ain't either. I practice shooting in the chair and all this kind of shit, so I'd only move the top part of my body and everything. Sure as shit, I drop my hip every time on a right-hand target. But I knew I wasn't doing it. I swear to God, I wasn't doing it until they film me. I'm doing it. I don't think I'm doing it. How do I stop doing things I don't think I'm doing?
Well, we're going to get a bullhorn like Win Paul does. Win Paul coaches you with a bullhorn. Do it again. It ain't where.
I told my buddy last year that we ought to get some headsets.
I tried them. It doesn't work.
Even with the noise reduction and over the ears.
Yeah, I had a pair of Sony FM headsets, and the best thing is a bullhorn. a good bullhorn.
We
Do
were
it
thinking
again.
of a dog. We were thinking of a dog shot collar.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
If you're told once and you screw up again, you just get a little zap. Oh,
Hey, Sparky,
Yeah.
Yeah.
those water slide decals, you said you had the blanks for them?
You have to do what?
The water slide decals, you said you had blanks for them?
Blanks?
Tap.
I don't use,
And you needed a laser printer to
I don't do decals, but I have done them. You do need a laser inkjet printer. And then when you get the decal paper, you have to spray it with some type of binder to hold it together when you put it in the water. I don't do any decals. I do all paint.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. I'll just spray these back to them. I thought you said Stunt Hangers sold those things.
No, not that I know of.
No, the blank for it.
hey, Sparky,
Yeah.
You got there.
you got to send me your address, your prop cane.
All right. What size is that?
That's 12.6.
Okay.
Now you want a 13.6 that you could cut down a little bit because I don't know how much this thing bites or whatever, but I got a 13.6 and a 12.6.
13.6 two blade is what I run. So a 13 or 12.6 three blade would be the equivalent.
That's what I was thinking, but if this thing isn't pitched as hard or doesn't make quite as much bite, maybe like a 12.5 three blade, if something you could cut down and experiment with. I don't have to send it, but I'll send it to you if you want to play a little bit.
How many of those props did you get?
One each.
Those are propellers that are cut and pegged in the center.
Yeah, they're cut and they got like a little metal thing in there, and then they're pegged and glued.
Now, who makes those props?
Turnigy.
Bobby King.
Hobby King, yeah.
Yeah, you talk about Hobby King. Do you see that little half-A control line plane for $9.95?
That's those Blackhawk.
Man, as soon as I saw that, I went right there. I already have an account. I went to buy it, sold out.
I want everybody on the internet to drool. So I have to show you 13.6 rev up, brand new in the package.
Are you the one that bid the hell out of them last week?
What's that?
Are you the one that bid the hell out of them on eBay last week?
No.
Oh, did you see that? You see them damn things were going for like $12 a piece?
Holy
No,
cow.
we only paid $5 a piece for these.
Had them on eBay that got a fish out of Ohio. He was selling 6 of them, and they were like $70. I don't know. They finally ended up selling 6 props for.
No, I wouldn't pay that much for them, but I got a bag of them. These will last a little while.
Yeah, I should have some carbon fiber 40 size props next week to try out. So Jeff tells me he was doing some stuff tonight on them. Got the molds made or whatever. Oh.
What happened?
That
Somebody came
I
on
did
and
that.
kicked me out or kicked me to something else, but I got back in. Said Daryl something.
We're not doing any
What
thumping.
happened?
How do you spell Turnigy?
Oh, let me get the prop because I'm a bad speller.
Turnigy.
Yep, Urnigy. And to find them, you got to get into, I think it's Beach. They're in with the Beach 2-bladed props for some reason. If you look for the 3-bladed, it don't show them.
I see it. $6.35 a piece.
Yep.
This is a 12.5.
Yeah, they have 12.5, 12.6, 13.6. Then they could drop to like a 14.5. They don't have all the sizes. I wanted something in 11-inch. Couldn't get them, so Jeff Trexler, I gave him some BY&Os, and he's cut them and made 3 blades, and now he's making mold. Because most of us fly 40-size airplanes, and we can't get real good propellers. I need something with ground clearance. I mean, hell, I chew through wood props in the grass all the time. Just chews the hell out of them.
Yeah, I'm buying one of them off of him, 2 of them off of him, one for this Stuka, put on this 25.
I'm bringing him an airplane Friday. Test the 40-size stuff on that airplane. Inchy or whatever. I guess he's going to put a LA-25 on and try to test a little smaller props. He's got some 9-inch props and stuff. Billy gave him actually a tornado prop to mold. A 9.5 or 9.6, I don't know, some tornado prop they like, but it wasn't very stiff. So he's supposed to be doing that too.
This thing weighs 35 grams. That's really good for what it is.
Light prop. The only problem I had with it is if you get a kickback on it and you
Break
got a
the prop
glove on, it'll break the damn prop. It's so thin. You got to back flip them. You can't flip them. If you get a backfire, that thump will crack that damn blade. It's so, they really pull good. They're just fragile. On that about maybe making them out of carbon fiber. But I mean, it's a super light prop. It seemed to pull like crazy when we put it on that Rojet 75 and had it on that SV11. But I broke it. So I got another, and we were running a 12.5 on that Rojet 76, and that was all the prop it needed.
12.5 on a 76, huh?
Yeah, just ran it in a rich 2-stroke. The damn thing, it sounded like it was on a pipe. It never changed. Never changed. Just no matter what you did with it, never changed speeds or nothing.
That again. That was pretty good.
I ran a 15.5 on my PA 75.
Holy cow!
You want
I was looking
disc area bigger
next
the better.
year, and it was given all the prop sizes. Anybody there that even flies a 13-pitch prop, Fitzgerald or Brett Buck or any of them, they're all flying like 12 3/4 by 4.5, and I mean they're not running very big props, on these big engines. But I know Wendy used to fly some big ass props on this stuff. So, I don't know. You hear of all this. That's kind of like the color you paint your airplane. Does it really matter what prop if it works good for the engine? And
Your name is Paul Walker.
no.
Yeah.
You know, I was reading a thing Paul Walker did. His impacts on a 10.6 or something like that. On a 60 size engine, he wanted to see if like prop diameter affect the way it turned and stuff for gyro effect and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one thing about Paul though. He could polish a turd and make it fly well.
Okay, you got my address.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get them sent out to you Monday.
I'll give them a try. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I gave them to some other people to try too, and never got no feedback, and they didn't try them and stuff like that. And it's like, stuff, but I don't know. It's kind of like, you know, we talked about before about whatever you do with an airplane. If you're not anything, how do you test it against what? You know, I'm like, well, that seems to work good for me, but I don't have anything else in my knowledge bank about how other shit work to say, is this better? Is it worse? Is it the same?
Well, you know your setup's working right, and your airplane's the right weight when it will accelerate out of the last turn of a square 8, or boom. You know, you got enough pull.
You got power. Yep. So, got a chance to fly your Nobler yet?
No, it isn't even cleared. I haven't been able to paint. It's been raining here.
Same thing here. I was talking to John Paris. Plane's ready for clear, but we just, for the last 2.5 weeks, all it does is rain, rain, rain.
Yeah.
Fog. It's just crazy.
It's been crappy here. I mean, I got an airplane I have to clear for a guy, but I don't want to give it to him looking like a milkshake, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. So you think it's gonna...
Another thing on propellers, if you want to know if you got enough power, is when you're in your second vertical 8 and you come back around this way and you got good line tension and good power, you know you'll have enough power or enough prop.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you know, with me and Samantha doing testing, it's hard for us to test because we have nothing to test against. You know, it's like we don't know enough and haven't flown that many years to where we say, well, hey, this setup worked really good. This one doesn't work as good, or this one works better. All we know is, hey, it works, but we don't know how good it is.
Well, who are you close to?
Bob McDonald would probably be the closest, and he's like 3.5 hours, 3 hours away, 3.5.
He's really knowledgeable. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah. We need he told us we could come over there and spend the night, stay at his place and stuff, but we haven't been able to really hook up with, because I only get Samantha every other weekend. So if it's a weekend that's shitty, then there goes that weekend. And then if Bob's got something to do, or he's going to Billy's or whatever, then out, and it was a real hassle just trying to.
Well, you need to work it out with your wife so that you only have her on good weekends.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked that out. Another 1.5 years, and I don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, next time you guys see me, this will be gone, I think.
Yeah, you're gonna.
I'm gonna shorten it up considerably.
How many years?
Maybe go with like a Fu Manchu.
I had that for a while too.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't let my beard get much longer than it is now. It itches. I don't see how anybody can grow them really long.
If after they get long, they get soft.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Yeah, I was waiting. I
You just
was
gotta
hoping it would grow faster so I could push it up on top of my head.
Well, just get a parent rabbit at the top and pull it up through.
That's a good idea.
Instead of cutting it off, just bring it up
Yeah,
like you do the lace in your hoodie.
yeah.
Just adjust that thing.
I have long hair. Just shaved it off.
Yeah, that's like I said. Only place hair grows on me anymore is my ears and nose and shit like that, and my eyebrows.
Yeah.
Boy, isn't that the truth?
You know, it just keeps getting thinner and thinner on top. And about 3 years ago, I knew it was really getting thin when I sunburned the top of my head. It's been painful.
Ooh, I bet.
I forgot my hat when I went off to work, and I didn't have a hat. I'm like, oh, that. I was on that roof all day, and oh my God. Talk about, then my head peeled. It looked like I had some kind of dandruff, big flake dandruff or something. It was crazy. But so now I always make sure I have an extra hat in my truck.
I got a lot of hair. It's real thick. I'm gonna have it for a while.
That's like my
It's
brother
hot too. It gets real hot in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, my brother's that way. I take after my one grandpa on my dad's side. And ain't nothing you can do about it.
I've got one thumbs down on just about every video.
Yeah. Yeah, there's gonna be an asshole no matter what. You know.
Be back. I got a dog getting out of hand.
But yeah, I don't know why more people from Stunt Hanger isn't on here. I mean, the way to talk through, to get better answers and stuff like this. I don't like texting and I don't like typing. I'll read that stuff, but I have to make myself say things on there. It's usually really short.
Most of the guys on Stunt Hanger are between 60 and 90. And in that I'm over 60, less than 90. I'm mid 60s. But I had the opportunity to learn computers, because 25 years ago, or maybe let's see, 91, it's been 26 years ago, I knew nothing about computers. Matter of fact, I didn't like them because I didn't know anything. But once you delve into it, like I explained to my dad, who's 95, I'd say, remember how you used to file 3x5 filing cards in a shoebox or something? I go, yeah. Well, that's exactly like the computer is. The 3x5s are inside that box, and the box is right there. And you just got to know how to get them out of there. Oh, that makes sense. But most of the guys on Stunt Hanger don't log into YouTube. They don't have a Google account, so they're kind of stuck just watching them. They don't get to participate. But it's not not that big a deal.
Well, as you can see, it took me for 2 weeks now to finally figure out how to get back on here.
Well, I think Tom Creasy got you whipped by a long ways.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get on, Tom?
Months. I can't remember exactly how long. It was probably at least 4 months.
For all the guys watching and want to know what we're talking about, go ahead and get yourself a Google account. If you can't figure out how to do it, it's called determination. There's plenty of articles out there how to register.
Well, how I got back on is I heard you talking about you had to turn on Stunt Hanger how was it now? It wasn't Stunt. What's it comes up under Stunt Hanger something at Hangouts or whatever.
Yeah.
And then once I went there was a place I could click on for Google, and then it let me come back in. But if I go to it from when it tells me you're on, it won't let me in there that way.
That's a
For some
setting
reason.
on your phone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. What I would do, or what I have done, is that all my devices are hooked to my Google account. That's probably a bad thing, because then Google knows everything I'm doing and everywhere I've been, but my phones and everything are hooked to Google account. The nice thing about that is I don't have to go through and save every favorite on every browser. It automatically loads it on the phone and the computers. If I save one on this computer, it'll be on my phone and on the other one too.
Well, yeah, that's what I did, and I think when my phone screwed up, it erased something out of there, and then I can't get it on. I'm on my tablet now, which I always got on, but it was like I lost it on my tablet, lost it on my phone, lost it on the computer.
Are you logged into Google right now?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. After you get off, do a search and put how to connect Google accounts, and it'll be right there.
Okay.
You can also put the app in your browser for Google Hangouts. It's a green button that goes in the top right when you add the extension.
Yeah, I got that on there too, but it would not, I don't know why, until the night it let me back in again, but it would not let me get there. It show the airplane of letters and numbers, and I hit it, and it said I was in it was saying that I wasn't allowed in or something, and it's like, I'm like, this is how I always did it. Well, hopefully now, again, and maybe it knows it'll let me back in, because I never had a problem there for a month or two.
Well,
Once I figured out how to get in the first time.
I do have another Stunt Hanger account, and that Stunt Hanger account has a white button. That's my personal account. That's for me. There's no subscribers and no videos, maybe 2 videos. And when it has a white round icon. The icon you're looking for is a picture of my Thunderbolt. It's yellow. It has the nose of my Thunderbolt on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it was coming up when I did a search or whatever. It came up with a white one.
Yeah, that's the wrong one. You want to, if you go to Google, just type in Stunt Hanger, and it'll come right up. I mean,
yeah. Anytime I type, actually, Samantha made me an app. Somehow made me an app, a Stunt Hanger app. I just got to click on that, and it'll take me any place in Stunt Hanger now, which is really cool. I don't know how she made an app for me, but it says it's round. It says Stunt Hanger. It looks like Stunt Hanger, but somehow she made me an app, and I can get on my phone and everything with that.
Maybe I ought to get with her. We can make some money on it.
She says it's real easy. She learned in school how to do
the
it.
app on Google Play, but I was on a forum yesterday, a TubeBuddy forum on how to make your channel more discoverable, and because I'm pretty close to 1,000 subscribers now, and when I hit 1,000 subscribers, I can do super chat and a whole lot of things. And I said, well, how do you do it when there's only 3,500 guys in the whole world that do what I do? How do I get more subscribers? They don't know. If I saw a cute video, and it was really funny, and I've got it saved. This guy had 2 cats, and they had 2 of them bells, that they put on the desk, ding, ding, ding. Two cats, and they're sitting in front of 2 plates and 2 bells. And every time the cat would ring a bell, he would give him a treat. They go bing, and you give them a treat. Bing, that was pretty cool. That thing's got millions of views, and it's absolutely stupid. If I was doing stupid shit, I'd have a gazillion views.
I saw on social media that these hackers have got what's called bots.
Yeah.
And when they put it in something that they post, it'll actually give miscellaneous views. In other words, it'll just double and triple and triple and triple all on its own.
And when they get caught, they knock those accounts out. It's not cool.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that. I want real people, that are interested in building wooden airplanes. And I told that guy, I said, most of my demographic is between 60 and 90. And there's only, 4,000 people in the world doing it. So.
Well, I told Samantha to have her friends subscribe, even if they don't watch it. Just, to get people, to share it, whatever. Even if they don't want to watch it, just subscribe to it, and that'll get the subscription rate up at least.
This is my second year. I started in 2014 at Brodax. So 2015 Brodax is like we're going on our third year. Come Brodax will be the third year. And 870. I think it's maybe it's 860 or whatever. I'm not sure. Let's look here. Can't keep up with it.
That's getting close.
I have 474 videos and analytics. Let's see. Come on, boy, it's slow. This month I went up 32 subscribers, so 32 subscribers a month ain't bad. Let's see, subscribers. Give me a number. I don't have a whole number. Well, it says I have 476 videos. Dashboard.
What? Do you know anybody that over at
860 is what I got subscribers.
860?
Yeah.
What's that big RC one?
RC Universe?
What you need to do is get a hold of them guys and say, hey, subscribe to my channel, and I'll get all my guys to subscribe to your channel just to get the channel things up. And let's let everybody help everybody. Go to a helicopter one, get the helicopter guys to do it. Because there's got to be other people out there trying to get their stuff so they can do better things for everybody. Just can't help everybody out.
I'm only 140 to go, and divided by, if we get 30 a month, let's see how many months away I am. CAL calculator into taskbar. There we go. Let's see how long it's going to take to get them. 140 away. We'll say average divide by 30.
4 months.
4.5 months, yeah. By the end of the year, we should be up to 1,000 if it continues.
Yeah.
But there's, like I said, there's only so many people that do what we do, and nobody's really interested in what we do. So why would they subscribe?
Well, that's what I mean. Is like if we could hook up with some free flighters, helicopter guys, whatever, and just say, hey, let's all of us help out everybody. If you get a hold of me and say, hey, I need you to subscribe to this, this, and this, I'll do it. Subscribe to our stuff. We can help them. They can help us.
Well,
I don't have to watch their videos.
The way that they look at us, they don't need us. I mean, they got millions of subscribers.
Oh, like the free flight and stuff.
Free flight, not so much, but the RC pattern guys and the pylon guys and the combat guys and the quadcopter guys. And if you're a quad guy, I was looking at one quad channel tonight that had 7 million subscribers.
Holy shit.
If I had 7 million subscribers, I could probably make a living on YouTube. What I need is a cameraman and some niche to figure something really stupid, and then I get some more subscribers.
Well, you just got to get some crazy girl on behind you there doing makeup while you're working on airplanes.
Yeah.
So, this girl, she tries out all the new shit that comes out with makeup and hair deals, and she's funnier than hell. She's weird looking, but I forget, she has 40-some million subscribers. That's all she does for a living. Is that stuff?
No doubt. But see, if I do something like that, if I do a channel with something stupid, I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to do it on another channel. Because I kind of made a pact or a promise or whatever you want to call it, that this would be about model airplanes. And that's what I've pretty much tried to stay to for the last 11 years on Stunt Hanger, is don't talk about this, let's keep it to airplanes. That way we don't get anybody offended. And I don't have to be politically correct we're talking about airplanes. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's too bad. It's like them Turnigy props. Like, you couldn't do a thing for Turnigy and let Hobby King know that, hey, we're testing your props and stuff like this. It would still have to do with the sport,
I can do that. I can do that, but YouTube wants half of what I get from them.
I'm no kidding.
Yeah, James.
Yo.
Yeah, if I do a paid advertisement or whatever, I have to give them half. And that ain't happening.
Now, what happens if you went to Hobby King to do that and said, okay, I'll do this stuff for you, and then you somehow have something on your website where look at this, subscribe and look at what we're doing for you. There would be no money changing hands, but description from them and stuff, and more people watching and stuff like that.
Well, there's some type of value there, and I'm sure, I don't know, I don't want to get wrapped up in any legal nonsense.
Oh, okay. That's the bad part. I was just trying to think of ways to help get it up, because I think it's a good thing.
Rusty's on.
A lot.
Come in from
Hey,
getting
guys.
drunk, Rusty?
What'd you say?
Get in from getting drunk?
No, man. I just finished watching 2 Final Four women's basketball games. My hometown team's in both of the Final Fours, so I had to watch the women tonight.
I watched a movie last night that was super good, and I'll recommend it. It's Nicolas Cage in the USS Indianapolis. It's a true story about World War II and the Manhattan Project. Good movie.
Yeah, I bought it. I haven't seen it yet. It's in the living room.
Hey, Frank, are you getting tired of sanding yet?
I'm done.
Are you done?
I just sanded my turtle deck on this Nobler.
And I seen that you had the cowl all sanded in and stuff like that. I'm like, I bet you he's getting tired of sanding.
Oh my gosh, there's so much.
Take the plywood off.
Yeah, I will. I was going to tell you the plywood trick worked perfect.
Not too much.
Well, I was just getting the hard glue off of it.
That sandpaper always sounds a lot rougher over the microphone than it does in real life.
Well, it's,
Oh, I know
it's
it.
80 grit though. It is pretty rough.
Oh, well, that is pretty rough.
Yeah. When Sparky's saying it on that damn silk span with 320 or whatever, you would think has a grinder going.
Yeah.
And it looks nice.
Thank you.
So was that the correct way to do it, Frank?
Man, it worked perfect for me. I might save that for the next one.
Yeah, for mine.
You can also do that on the intake for your engine. If you want an oval or you want, some kind of heart shape or whatever.
Oh,
If you cut a piece of plywood out of heart, pattern out of plywood and glue it on the front of the cowl that's flat, sand into it, and then take it off and then open it up.
oh, okay. You know what I was wanting to do, but I don't think I can do it because of the way my what do you call that thing? The thing in front of the motor. Yeah, the Venturi. I was kind of wanting to do like a P40 look to the front of that. You know how the P40 cowl looks?
Yeah.
But it won't do it because it's going to stick way out of that cowl.
And make it easy to prime it. You can make them look fancy, but if you can't get your finger in there to prime it, then just flipping it over and shooting fuel in it. And
Yeah, that Venturi sticks like a half an inch out of this cowl. It's going to be way out there.
I would take it and turn it down on my lathe, about half the length.
Yeah. Well, it's starting to look like something now. Oops.
So it hits the floor.
Yeah, I've already dropped it a couple times. Got hanger rash all over it.
yeah, a little bit of spit in an iron will bring out dents.
Yeah.
Now you haven't permanently glued that turtle deck on, have you?
No, it's just tacked.
Okay.
So I'm going to do the top next. But it's coming along. Now to get the turtle deck off, that's another thing.
Now, looks like one of the games is just going to overtime. Yukon and Mississippi State are tied at 60. Time ran out.
Oh boy, guys throwing a ball through a hoop.
Yeah, actually, this is girls throwing a ball through a hoop.
I can't believe
Oh, yay!
I can't believe though the Yukon girls are tied. I mean, they usually just kill everybody.
Yeah. Well, South Carolina won their game tonight. That's my hometown team. And then our guys play tomorrow night in the Final Four. So we'll see how it goes. They've never been there before.
They were some tall girls, I tell you that.
There it is. Came on.
Remember, it's got to weigh half of what you got to cut that down to about 7 grams.
Well, let's see what she weighs right now.
30 something.
Grams.
You told me.
This one weighs 25 grams right now.
So you got to hollow it out till it's 12 and then find 6 more.
All right. Good luck with that.
Hey, when you start hollowing it out, what I tried, me and Samantha did on this last one, I had this idea if I took a Dremel wire brush, thin wire brush, I'm like, I wonder if that'll eat out balsa. Sure as shit. You can take that in there and finely hollow out stuff with it. It worked pretty good. I couldn't believe it.
I'll have to give her a shot, but I'm going to take it down to about a 64th. That should give me my What do I need? 8 grams?
A 64th? No, you don't want it that thin.
Somebody
32nd.
put a finger through it with 64th.
Yeah, about 8.
Break.
All right.
32nd of an inch. Plenty.
Okay.
You can candle it.
Yeah, and if it doesn't weigh, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you can't do light airplanes without starting with light wood.
Right, and I don't have light wood, so it is what it is.
Sterling, man.
But you definitely want to try to get the most out of it that you can.
Yeah, I'll be doing that definitely. Oh, I'm glad you showed me that plywood trick, man. It looks perfect.
What plywood trick?
The secret.
I'm
You had to get on earlier to find out. Otherwise, you'll never know now.
gonna have to restart it.
Yeah. Yeah, it works awesome. That's unbelievable.
I missed it too, so I don't know. I hear him talking about it, but I seen him take it off there.
Yeah.
I'm too busy drinking. I don't even know what the hell y'all talking about.
You can tell him, Frank.
You take the profile of your rudder and you trace it onto like a 32nd or a 16th inch plywood, and then you glue that, tack glue it onto your turtle deck and just contour around just the plywood. That way you don't have to eyeball it like with a pen mark.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It worked pretty good.
Oops.
Now this piece of wood weighs 35 grams. That's going to go on the front.
I would go in the trash can if it was mine.
Huh?
That would go in the trash can if it was mine.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have the luxury of having a shop full of wood, though.
35 grams is a oh man.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what weight wood that is. So that's 35 grams. Give me a length and a width of it and a thickness. Hang on, let me get this up here.
It's 5/8 thick.
Wait a minute.
I'm waiting.
Calm down. Calm down.
It's probably 12-pound wood.
Okay, so we got weight of the balsa. How much does it weigh?
You want grams or ounces?
Doesn't matter.
37 grams. Wait a minute.
37.
Yeah.
37.
You have like a formula you're putting it in?
Right, and the length of it?
The length is 16 inches.
Wow, that's real heavy. 16. The width is 3 inches?
Yep. And it's 5/8 thick.
Actually, it's not bad.
Really? Well, it doesn't feel. This one doesn't feel that heavy.
So we
What'd it
got
come out at?
37 grams, right?
Yeah.
16 inches long by 3 inches wide by 5/8 thick is 4.7 ounce balsa.
Is that good?
Yeah.
That's
46.
really good.
See, man, bro, that can never let anybody down. I say that. The shit I'm dealing with.
For kits, Brodak really does a good job with wood. You know, for the price they get for their kits and stuff like that.
Their die cutting sucks, though.
Yeah, the laser's a lot better.
How come you didn't go all the way to the end, Frank?
It's got another 1/4 inch to put on the end. All this is going to be like contoured.
Listen to what I'm. Stop.
All right.
Listen to what I'm going to tell you. If you join that wood there at the nose, it will crack, or not crack, but it will separate. You'll be able to see that seam even after you sand it. So if it was me, and that's all I had, is I would put the extra piece, stab the piece back by the cockpit so that the cockpit will hide that crack.
Oh, so even after silk spanning, it'll still show?
You bet.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dope is always shrinking. So wherever there's a dissimilar piece of wood and you butt joint two pieces of wood together, even if you fiberglass over the top of that wood, if you butt joint two pieces of wood together and you fiberglass over it and then paint, because dope always shrinks when it sits in the sun, you'll be able to see that seam right there. So if it was me, I would never seam anything up here on the nose. You're going to seam back here by the cockpit.
Well, I mean, they only gave me a 1/4 inch to seam it, though.
Well, you better figure something else out then.
Because if I stick that in there, it's not going to be enough to fill up.
Double it up.
Yeah, you better find some wood, because that's stabbing a piece on the front is not a good idea.
I wish they would put this kind of crap in the instructions so I don't have to.
That kind of shit only comes from building hundreds of airplanes and knowing what happens.
Yeah. All right.
And 99% of the people, that's going to be the least of their worries when they build that lake.
Yep. Look like you got to start a ringmaster now, Frank.
Yeah, shit. I guess I'll have to wait.
You don't have any scrap of wood there to fill that with?
I don't have any 5/8.
So what do you have there?
Two pieces.
I got
Two
all
pieces.
this oak wood that I sawed off the bottom.
Can you make it wide enough for that area?
I got a piece of 1/2 inch.
There you go. Glue it to the 1/4 inch. Then you got 3/4 and you sand it down to 5/8 and you're good to go.
Okay. So take this all the way to the end of the nose then.
I would, yes. And at this particular time, I'd have the nose ring mounted as well. Do you have the nose ring on there?
Yeah, it's already on.
Okay.
I didn't contour to the top side, but I contoured the nose part.
Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you another secret. You see where you sanded the plywood?
Yeah.
That's going to show.
What do?
You're screwed. You got to go from where you are right now. So you're going to, if it was me, you're going to have to fiberglass with 1/2 ounce cloth, the nose, to try to hide that. But what happens is you got balsa wood and then you got hardwood showing. So the trick not to have that fluctuation is to mold. Let me get that. Mold the.
Everybody's quiet with anticipation here.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
We're all learning something.
Oh,
Okay, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see that this fuselage is bent?
Yeah.
yep.
Okay. This is a 16th inch doubler on here, and it's bent right into the nose ring.
Oh.
So that I'm not going to be sanding through the doubler. And then you grind the motor mount to match this curve.
Okay. Did you do that with your Nobler?
Yes.
Huh. That's pretty interesting.
Try not to ever, like I say, if you sand between balsa to the plywood, when it sits out in the sun, it'll suck down, and you can see that.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm at the point now, I'm already there, so it doesn't really matter.
You're done. You can't help it now.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about next time.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be here next time. I'm going back to RC.
You know, there's a lot of RC guys that are following my channel. A lot. So
It's all the same.
it's all exactly the same.
Yeah.
How many ways can you glue the fuselage to the wing? It's all the same.
Shit, man, knowing me all kind of ways.
This 1/2 inch is too short.
Let's see.
Well, I got this all the way to the nose. The turtle deck's where it's supposed to be. This is all the way up to the front.
Okay.
And if I take it long ways, it's going to be a 1/4 inch short
In width or length?
in length, long ways.
That's going to be where your canopy covers anyway. Does it? It probably doesn't have to be that thick all the way back.
Well, I have to round this and cut out for the canopy.
Remember this. The nice thing about wood is that there's no rules. You can add. The only rule is don't go cross grain. So if you got grain running lengthwise, don't run it across.
Okay. I can cut this 1/4 in half and I'll have my, well, this is 5/8, isn't it? Well, I'll have a half at least.
It may be, if it's hollow underneath the canopy, it doesn't matter. You can just build up on the edges and sand that all in.
That's correct. You
Oh,
could have a,
you mean like this?
yes, you could
Yeah.
do that.
Okay.
Because usually you got on that airplane anyway, you got to have clearance for the horn swinging in there and the push rod. And the one that I built, that was hollow underneath the canopy I painted. I know Robert there, when he did Samantha in there, he had to carve something in the back of Samantha for clearance.
Right, I had to cut her back out.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can do the edge. You don't have to worry about it, you know, that underneath it there. It can be hollow.
Okay.
Now, put your canopy up there and make sure that it's
And
that the hole is not, you know, not too big. I'll put the block back where it was.
Oh, gotcha.
You're fitting the canopy before you're at the stage.
All right.
So,
Well, yeah, that'll work. Let me turn it sideways.
yeah, because you're going to have to drop that
yeah, you'll be
a half
fine.
an inch, and it's going to almost come down on that side anyway.
Yeah, that
Right.
can just do that.
Right.
Okay. All right.
That's how we just got done with Samantha's. That's how we did hers. We had everything else sanded in place, and then just had to build up the sides, glue it on,
Okay. And I'm gonna.
fit it.
I'll do that then. Shoot.
That'll make a stronger front end too.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not gonna argue with you on that point.
The biggest thing is that sucking down in the sun. After you spent all winter building a nice airplane, set it out on the tarmac, and the first time it gets hot, you can see every seam in it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how careful you are either, because I've told you these secrets, and this airplane here on the nose has a spot right that you got to know where it is. But I can feel it, you know, and it just bothers me. You know, not perfect.
Yeah.
How's your other Junar coming along, Sparky? You get the wing built yet for it, or?
Nope. I got parts cut. I'm at a point right now where all I'm doing is painting.
Yeah, I seen all the airplanes you got to do.
Yeah, I got to get those done for the guy, and I got to get the Atlas done, but I'm not going to paint clear in humid weather.
Right. Yeah, hopefully this weather pattern will let up here soon, but it doesn't really look like it. I went out for the next 3 weeks, and it looks like about the same damn thing.
Well,
Yeah,
guys,
these
we've been on
storms-
about 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think I'm going to shut her down.
All right, what time is
All right.
it? Okay. All righty.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Right. Everybody that's watching, make sure you like, subscribe, share, leave a comment in the comment box below. Join Stun Hanger if you're not a member already. We got a pretty good bunch of guys. There's about 4,000 guys. Some are okay, some aren't. So, till we see you again. Fair winds, tight lines. See ya.
See you.
Bye.
Good night.
Shut her down, James.
Ah, damn it. Okay. See you later, buddy.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Till we see you again. Bye-bye.